Racial profiling is not okay, but it is content. So apparently Khabib Nurmagomedov was racially profiled on an airplane where he was asked to move seats or get out of the plane, basically because they didn't think that he either understood English or wouldn't be able to help in an emergency situation, as he apparently they thought wasn't the best equipped with his English language. Khabib was eventually escorted out of the plane. We will look at the evidence of that video and see if he was racially profiled or not. Again, this is the world we live in. I'm making content out of something like this, but screw it. There's nothing else to talk about. Let's get straight into the video. But you know what? I'm not going to say this was completely racial profiling. Part of it might just have been the fact that they've been like, okay, you're near the exit. It's an emergency door. If you don't know what you're doing, we're dead, right? Like, we need someone who can operate these life jackets, who isn't just controlled and say, oh, brother, what do you say, brother? You know what I mean? Like, we'll see this video. If anything, I am actually side of Khabib. I think those air hostess or air whatever, the attendees were probably in the wrong. But let's look at the video and see what we can make out. Can I turn on captions?
Feel comfortable with you too, because I know the language and I know the
It's not about the language.
I know how to help you, and now you guys, because this woman don't ask the message, don't understand what she's talking about.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is...
So apparently a woman was the one that was accusing Khabib of being weird, I guess, because she was uncomfortable with Khabib being where he is. Was it racism, or was it just the fact the guy doesn't speak good English according to her? Because apparently it was obviously Khabib. We know as fans, Khabib is actually not too bad when it comes to speaking the English. But let's continue to watch and see what's happening here.
We're either going to have you switch your seat because my flight attendants are not allowing you to sit in the exit row, or you're going to have to get off this plane and then we'll have to because...
So it's not like they were asking, you terrorist, get off this fucking plane right now. That's not what they were doing at all. They basically just said to Khabib, listen, this is an exit row. I don't know if it's best thing for you to be sitting here. I think we don't feel the most comfortable with you being here, which is a fair request. Because at the end of the day, if there are lives at stake and you want to make the best judgment call, it's probably fine to do this. But again, would it happen to a French man who isn't the best with the spoken words? I don't know. And that's the thing. Apparently one woman was uncomfortable with Khabib, despite the fact in this video, Khabib is speaking quite fluent English. So let's continue to watch.
They're not comfortable with sitting in the emergency exit row. My flight attendants. And unfortunately, it is fair.
It's not fair.
Yes, it is.
But you guys, when I was making check-in, they asked me, do I know English? Yes, I said.
And they said yes.
Yes.
I understand that, but it's also off of their judgment. I'm not going to do this back and forth. I will call a supervisor. You can either take a different seat, or we can go ahead and escort you off the plane. Which one are we doing? Okay, I'll call a supervisor and then...
So at this point, they're saying, okay, it's uncomfortable for everyone. It's out of their control. The attendants or the other people that are working on the plane are kind of uncomfortable with you sitting there. Please move from the exit row. I'm guessing before this video started becoming recorded, they probably politely asked Khabib to move out of the exit row. And then Khabib probably said, no, brother, why I move? And all that stuff. But listen, if you buy a ticket to a plane, you have a right to stay seated and not be embarrassed in front of everybody, which Khabib clearly was. I would probably say this is the flight's fault, obviously, here. Khabib is speaking fine English in this video. At this point, it's just one of those stubborn things. It's like, okay, well, we've already asked him to move a few times. He's speaking fine English. If we back off now, we're seen as the bad guy, so we're just going to act like this is part of the job. We're being professional. There's nothing personal here. I'm going to call my supervisor, this, that, and the other. Basically just not saying, you know what, we probably fucked up. You're speaking pretty fine English as it is. You're probably fine to operate the life jackets. Do you know how to pull the handle, Khabib Nurmagomedov? But in their mind, like, this justifies, like, in their mind, they're thinking to themselves, okay, well, if we give it up now, we're seen as racist. I mean, the guy's speaking fine English. Let's pretend like this is just normal procedure. Okay, I'm gonna get my supervisor. You have to move, sir, and all that stuff.
We're gonna have to rebook you for a different flight. Josh, do you copy?
And then Josh is brought in, and I think that might be him that you saw for a split second.
Correct.
Khabib dripped out like an esche over here in this video, but again, listen, right? At the end of the day, if it is truly genuine sentiment about being fearful about the safety of the passengers, if you're really thinking to yourself in the moment of need, Khabib will be like, oh, you want me to open door now, brother? I open door now. Okay, before the flight even has taken place. It's mid-flight and Khabib's like, I open door now. Okay, I open door now. I open door? I open door now. If that's what you think he's going to do, obviously they don't. But in the extreme circumstance, I thought Khabib was this deranged fucking dude who's just like, could open the door whenever, doesn't speak any English. Oh, life jacket, what even? Ah! Again, I'm Team Khabib on this one. I'm just saying on the extreme unlikeliness that they were actually genuinely concerned. That's probably what they're looking at, but really, from what we've seen so far, Khabib kind of racial profiled, really. They didn't actually ask him to get off the plane, they just asked him to move out of the exit row, so it's not even that bad, really. But once they started speaking to him, they could probably tell that he speaks fine English, so probably should have let it go. If that is Josh, come on, man. No one's getting moved out of their seats because of Josh. Also, one more thing I want to point out. This kind of just proves to the popularity of the UFC. Like, imagine if Lionel Messi, right? Messi, who doesn't speak well English, is on that exact same row. First of all, he'd be in a private jet. Why would he be catching a local airplane in, like, economy class nonetheless? But if he was on this plane, you really think they'd be like, oh, Mr. Messi, get the fuck off this plane. Do you really think we'd be doing that shit? They obviously wouldn't. They just like, okay, Mr. Messi, you don't want to move, that's fine. Your bodyguard, he speaks English, we speak to him. Okay, you do this. Kind of just shows that the fame of the UFC isn't nearly as big as other sports. But the fact that they might not have even known who Khabib was, to be honest. Like, no one on that plane was like, that's Khabib Nurmagomedov. And if they did know, like, I guess they were just doing their job. So actually, more props to them if they did know. But kind of just goes to show that the actual popularity of the UFC isn't quite to this huge celebrity level. I think Khabib probably should just copped it and moved seats, to be honest, but whatever. This guy, I don't know if he ended up telling them this was Khabib Nurmagomedov, but instead he pulled out his phone, recorded for his TikTok channel. And it's kind of just the way the world works. I don't know if this was actually posted by the same dude. It probably wasn't actually. But his first reaction was to film the entire altercation instead of being like, oh, I mean, that's former UFC world champion Khabib Nurmagomedov. Show him the fucking respect he deserves or whatever. But anyway, Khabib then later posted on his Twitter to clarify what was happening here. First of all, I need to clarify that it was Fly Frontier, not Alaska Air. These are just names to me, I don't know. Lady who comes to me with questions was very rude from the very beginning. Even though I speak very decent English and can understand everything and agreed to assist, she still insists on removing me from my seat. She was probably a racist, I'm just going to be honest with you. Not that I care, but I mean, it's wrong, obviously, but, like, she obviously had some sort of racism behind her. She's like, oh my god, a Muslim dude helping out in the exit row? Never, not under my watch. Defender of justice, Mrs. Susan, I don't know. That's probably her mentality. What was the base for that? Racial, national, or other one? What's the other one? Sexism? I don't know. I'm not sure either. Khabib doesn't even know what other one means either. But after 2 minutes of conversation, she called security and I was deplaned from this aircraft after 1.5 hours. So literally no time whatsoever, like enough to get like basically a lunch and go to the bathroom. I boarded another airline one and left to my destination. I did my best to stay calm and respectful, as you can see on the video, but those crew members could do better next time and just be nice with clients. Everything he said is true. I will say one thing though. If you were being respectful, you could have just moved seats, really. Like, you really wanted the window seat that badly? Come on, my guy. You wanted the window seat that badly that you want to just gonna get off the plane and catch a new plane. Probably have to pay a whole new amount of money for that new ticket, especially considering that it's on short notice. Unless you had like a fully refundable ticket, you wouldn't get that money back either. Probably could have just gone on a different seat if it was that big of a deal. But yeah, there was some racism involved here. That's just the world we live in. Every now and then you're gonna see some racism. I think Khabib handled it pretty well. Like, if you're being disrespected that brutally on an airplane, you're not going to be out there being like, oh, you know what, I actually think I will change seats for the betterment of the passengers. You're just going to be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're really going to ask me to move even though we're having a completely normal conversation in English as we speak right now? Like, you really think I don't understand what you're talking about? I mean, we're talking right now to each other in English. But that's basically what happened. That is the content for today. Khabib was racially profiled. Bad job to Fly Frontier. If you're watching this video and you've ever caught Fly Frontier, shame on you. They've disrespected Got Khabib Nurmagomedov. Don't catch Fly Frontier. You know what? I'm going to take a stand right here. I'm going to say from now on, I will personally, even the fact that I'm living in Australia, never catch Fly Frontier. But apparently they're very cheap and very affordable for return trips. So in the hindsight, maybe you could... if it's a big enough occasion and you don't have enough money, maybe you can. But for the most part, don't let these MMA disrespecting pigs dictate where you fly to. Anyway, that's the entire video. Like, share, and subscribe. 193 subscribers I'm on. Get me to 200. I'm not gaining any subscribers for like a week now. Why? I'm looking at you. Why? Anyway, subscribe. Give me 200 subscribers. Like, comment, notification bell for more amazing news and content like this one right here. I bet your brain is enriched and you weren't completely induced to brain rot. But, bye. Okay, this time for sure, bye. 193, give me 200 subscribers.